G Plus, we are live on Metro Television, and today is our Business Tuesdays. And every Tuesday we talk about business. But how can you even start a business if you don't have the money to start a business? So today we're talking about the art of saving. But unfortunately, the saving or the art of saving is not a habit, or it's not something that is a part of that. We ought to be taught, we ought to be spoken to about it. We need to know the importance, the reasons why we have to save. It is very important to save as well. So today we talk about the art of saving. I have CEO of Tentmaker Ghana, Agyei Asare, here with me. Henry, welcome.
Thank you, Jackie.
How are you?
Thank you.
How's your ride here to GMG Plus?
Well, it was okay, except that I think there are a lot of things that are going on in town.
Oh, tell us about it.
And, you know, sometimes it's pretty difficult to be, if you want to be a law-abiding citizen in this town. I mean, you see traffic, and then people are just driving by the side of it. And I've said this over and over again.
Exactly.
I was driving on the Gimpa Road, and you see people driving. There are policemen there, and nobody asks anybody to stop. So if you are...
So then they're using the sides?
Yes, they are just using the opposing side. So, so it means that if you are in the traffic, you could stay there longer than you should. You should. And I think that Ghana police must give us more confidence to believe in them.
Give us more confidence to believe in us. If you're regulating the traffic, please regulate it well. And if you're driving as well, you need to be law-abiding and just be in the traffic. It will definitely get to your turn. If not, you wake up at 4 a.m., you leave home, and then like myself, you can get here in one piece without no traffic. But then if you're in the traffic, I mean, we that we're in the traffic, we are equally late, or we are in a hurry, just as you are as well. So I think the Ghana police should work on it. Yes. Are you okay now? But let's talk about why we're here. We're talking about the art of saving. It is very important. Like, even as young people, I feel that we should cultivate the habit of saving, because that's the only way we can also do things on our own or do things for ourselves. But I want to ask, what is saving? You know, what is savings? I mean, if I have my money, I have my account and all of it, do I necessarily have to have a specific money allocated to savings?
Okay. Well, I don't know what you study in school, Jackie, but when you say art, A-R-T, I believe it has to do with a certain character. Yeah. But I would say that saving is an act, A-C-T. It is something that you must demonstrate. You must demonstrate. Because it is not rhetoric. It's not something that you keep on saying. The other thing, too, I would say saving is a culture. I mean, when we're in school, we all talk culture. It's a way of life, right? So if you have to be able to have that's propensity to save, it must be something that you've been trained with. You know, sometimes I have a belief that when we're growing up, the way we used to receive money and even manage that money, and we were taught how to get that feeling, is possibly the reason why we don't have a lot of people saving in our country. When you get money, when you're kids, the first thing is go and buy toffee, right? Now, those who had the chance of saying, when I have some money, I'll put it in some box, all right? And then I'll keep on checking and checking. And then because I had some intention, I want to use this, and if you are a girl, you want to use this to buy, say, a teddy bear, right? Now, that is the concept of saving, because you have a plan to want to use that kind of money for. So I would say that first, saving is an act, but it's a culture, and until you develop that culture, you will not have it easy to save. But
how do you develop that culture if you don't have the basics, if you are not taught at home? Say, mommy gives you money, mommy will tell you, Jackie, save this amount of money. If you are not taught at home, how do you develop that, you know, culture?
I think sometimes it's also driven by circumstance and then the needs, the way your own personal drive. If you want to retire at 65, right? You want to make sure that by 65, you have enough saving, you have enough investment to take care of you. And so you need to plan before. I always say that if you don't prepare, you repair. And until we begin to come to that realization that saving is part of the budgeting plan. You know, sometimes it baffles me that when we work in an organization, we are inclined to believe that every organization have a budget. But how come that we don't consider ourselves as people who need to be budgeting for what we want to do? And that is why sometimes you have money, and then, you know, when you have money, a lot of ideas come to your head. I mean, now, and I said this last time I came, now, possibly you don't have a lot of money in your account, so you don't think about driving a V8. Now, once you begin to make a lot of money, or once somebody donates, let's say, some 1 million Ghana cedis to you, begin to think, oh, maybe the trotro I'm even body is even below my class and things like that. Because there's actually no plan for it. So to be able to attain that culture, you must be driven by a certain desire, a certain need. And my question is, what is your driving force? Saving is basically something that is historical, right? You're trying to look at a future trend, but looking at behind you, how have you been? Do you want to be the same way as you were, or you want an improvement? If you want an improvement, then you plan to get that improvement. And so if I have money, I need to know that that money I have today, tomorrow is not assured. How am I able to assure my tomorrow? I must put something aside for tomorrow.
But do you need a huge sum of money to start saving? I'm sure somebody will say, oh, as for saving, it's for rich people. It's for people who have. But me that I'm having my 1 cedi, which one am I going to take and, you know, save, and which one am I going to spend? You know, but you've mentioned that we should plan. Yes. But in planning, I mean, do you need a huge sum of money to start saving? Okay,
let me even help you. Some people say that my salary is not even enough for me.
Myself.
How am I supposed to save? Well, now, I have always said that usually what comes to your mind is what your plan goes for. Today, you are possibly receiving 800 Ghana cedis. And you are able to take care, and like we were talking about, it's January more than 60 days. But now it's becoming lower, right? Now, if your 800 cedis can take care of you, you didn't die. If it's an increment of 20%, trust me, you will still increase your consumption, right? I have always have a plan of saving, and it is to save in rates, in percentage of your salary. So if I say I want to save, let's say, 20% of my salary, it's not absolute, right? It's dynamic.
It's dynamic.
What it means is that if I receive 1,000 cedis, I'll save 200. But if I receive 500 cedis, I'll save 100. Now, that helped me, and it is easy for me. I have what I call the 6 envelopes. Now, I have where I need to spend. If I know that I have to buy clothes this month, pay my budget, then I look at a budget for my clothes. It goes into that envelope.
As well.
If I don't have anything budgeted for something, I don't take the one that is supposed to take care of my tomorrow and spend today. Now, saving is basic, simple. Deferring consumption today for tomorrow, because tomorrow is uncertain, right? And so I believe that to be able to, have that character, you must budget. And budget, the easiest way to budget is to have it in rates, so that you will be able to get to where you want to get to.
You'll be able to get to where you want to, but is it advisable to also say that, okay, I want to save, so let me use that ideology as paying myself first. So if I get the money, I take a portion that I'm paying myself, so that's my savings. Can somebody say that?
When it says pay yourself, you mean money that you are spending?
No, money that I have 1,000 cedis, 1,000 Ghana cedis. I'm taking 100 cedis to pay myself, and then I can use the 900 cedis to do other things. Is that also another technique of saving?
Well, I don't know what the concept of pay myself means. I mean, if you are paid, you spend it.
Yes, but so the 100 cedis that I'm keeping is what I'm going to save. So every month when I'm being paid, I pay myself that 100 cedis. Okay. And I'm saving it. Okay. You remember we spoke about the 5 levels of investment some time back? And one of the key things we said is an objective, to have an objective. Usually when you don't have an objective, it drives, it doesn't, everything away.
No, I mean, there's nothing that pushes you. If you want to go to school, and that's the same example I used the last time. If you want to go to school, if you plan that next year I want to, or maybe in September, I want to do a master's, what happens is that whatever possibly you may have to stop buying clothes. Maybe you have to stop picking taxi and pick trotro because you have an objective. I think the reason why mostly we are not able to drive the culture is because our objective, first of all, is weak. And secondly, sometimes we don't even have a plan of tomorrow. Once we get it today, we want to spend. And that is what changes the equation. The key thing is to plan for tomorrow. And in planning for tomorrow, you're looking at what I have tomorrow. If I have to, and we're talking about a certain rule, the 72 rule, is about how long it will take for you to double your investment. Now, if I'm going to have, let's say, 6%, right, and I have 72 rule, just 72 divided by 6, how long is it going to take me to double my investment? It will help me to know whether indeed I'll be able to buy the vehicle, I'll be able to go to school or not, or I need to possibly even borrow, then it would reduce my consumption.
Yeah.
Because if you have a driving force, that is tomorrow, your consumption today reduces because of balance. And the same thing that is in the box. Either you pick something and put it here, or you pick something from the future and put it in the current.
Okay, so I'm sure everything you're saying works with you saving in the bank as well. But when we come back to our settings, and now we can see a lot of susu box, quote unquote, piggy banks that we all have. Like everybody is buying it now. Do you need a plan if you want to save in your piggy bank or your susu box? Do you need a plan, an objective? Can't you just say, I want to save, let me just put my money inside? Do you need a plan necessarily? And do you have to allocate money, say every day I want to put 1 cedi inside every day? Does that happen also with our piggy banks and our susu box?
Well, okay, so first of all, I mean, act of savings necessarily doesn't need to be in a bank, all right? But this act of putting money in a box and keeping the money is something that is historical, something we used to do all the time. And like I said, we used to do those things because of a certain objective. We want to have money. When you go shake the box and feel that there's money in it, obviously you need to have a plan. Some may come as you go along. So for instance, somebody just dashes you some money, and then you say, oh, I want to put it in my box. All right, so it may not be something you plan from the time that you woke up, but because you met somebody who was generous to you, you put it in there. But it becomes a place where you want to store your value. But you see, that concept started moving when we noticed that there's another attack to that money we put in there. Because as you keep money in a box or dig the ground and put the money there, the money doesn't grow. Right? The money is not like a plant, it doesn't grow there. Money could be made to grow. So I always say to people that we had a concept. So in your church, you could say 5 of us, we put in money together, let's say 100 cedis a month. Right? Now because we are 5, it becomes 500. It is easy for me to make more money on the 500 than to make on the 100. Yeah. Right? In some instances, they even rotate giving the money to people. If I wanted to save, let's say 500, and then and I have to save 100, it means I need 5 months. But if I am able to save with people, I could get more money at a certain point in time. And it also helped me because I have other people helping me. And that's the same concept that we have in a mutual fund, in a unit trust. I always say that if you want to invest and it is small, put it in a mutual fund. Okay. Because that's one, it's a collective. And when you have bigger money, your bargaining power becomes stronger. Right? So it helps you to be able to get more return than just putting your own. See, I don't know, sometimes I have a feeling that the culture of we being together is something that is dying off. And people want to own things by themselves. And it's even creeping into business ownership. People own business, they don't want to share it off. I don't know whether you know who is the richest man now in the world, globally. Yeah. Right? There's the richest person. I don't know if you know who the person is. All right. So the richest person, the business that he owns, he doesn't own 100%. He has shares. People have shares inside. Jeff. Jeff is the one who we all know as Amazon. The one who the owner of Amazon, right? Now, this guy owned just about 16% of the business we all know that he founded. Now, how many even of us, most of the people that we know in this country who own businesses, want to even share a little bit of shares? Even this current banking crisis, we have people who own banks. They want to own it alone. They didn't want to let people even have access. And that's the concept why we save too long to get more what we need. Right. When you were talking, you were saying people should, well, you gave instances and examples, and there was a story in the news about a lady, an old woman who digged the ground and put her money there, and then termites went to get the money. Yes, and then, so that is for people who are saving at home and all of it. And then another school of thought is saying that, okay, there are other people who want
a raise. They want, you know, interest on the money, and so they went to men's gold, and they've lost it as well. So how safe are we when it comes to saving? Do I just save in my house? That one I know I'm safe, or I go give it to the men's golds and the, you know, investment banks and all of it? How safe are we when it comes to savings?
There's nothing like safe.
There's nothing like safe.
There's always a risk to everything.
Okay.
But you see, the reason why people are talking about men's gold today is because people transfer the risk of you having money in your house and somebody coming to steal it to men's gold. And so people are going to men's gold and say, oh, where's that money, right? If I had the money in my house, we have people kept money in their home, the safes, people stole it. Who do you attack? You don't attack anybody. You think it's your own.
Yeah.
The only reason why you are attacking somebody is because you transfer the risk to the person, and the person didn't keep that trust well, right? Now, but I mean, we can talk about men's gold and the dynamics of that. But the important thing is that you put the money at a place where you know the security, right? We've always said that there's a certain level of investment in this country, in almost every economy, that we term risk-free, even though it's not absolutely risk-free, because there's always an element of inflation that attaches. But if you put your money in a government investment, right, it is termed that whatever happens, government will pay your money back to you, right? Now, if you want to put your money into another investment, you're looking at whether that one is less riskier to the government's one. If it is less riskier, what's the margin you can make upon the government one? Because if I put it in government treasury bill, I could get a certain rate, like 14%, 16%, or 18%, right? If I give my money to a bank or put it in, let's say, a mutual fund, what is the margin that I could get off the risk-free? That's what you need to calculate. And it must not be too high, because you see, if somebody takes money from you, the person is going to trade with it. If you know what the person is going to trade with, you know the margin the person is even going to make to be able to take care of himself or herself and give you part of that return. So if I come and tell you that I'm going to buy a watch, and the watch is sold at 200 cedis, and I'll pay you 50 cedis every month for 12, how am I going to even make the sales? That doesn't make sense, investment-wise. All right, so I think that for me, the general advice is that it is good, the concept of we coming together, you know, and most institutions do this. We coming together to put money aside. We see work money easily, and we can do probably a better investment with that money than me alone trying to get some investment on my own.
Right, so we're talking about the act of savings on the show. For our young ones out there, for the youth out there wondering some of the importance of saving, I'm sure they know, oh yeah, but first of all, I can't take 1 cedi to the bank. So obviously I want to be keeping it in my piggy bank. When I get enough money or a lot of money, I take it out and I put it in the bank. But I want you to tell us some of the importance of saving, why we should cultivate the habit of saving.
Now, first of all, it gives you confidence. You know, if you put money aside and you know that I want to buy a car, and then probably you know that the money is adding up. By next month, I'll get my car. And then somebody tries to, you know, like jokingly, somebody is not offering you, so don't worry, next month I'll be like you. It gives you some kind of confidence. That's the first thing. But secondly, it also protects your tomorrow. It's just like insurance. I mean, if you're driving a car, you know that you have insurance. You have enough confidence behind the wheel, then you know that there is no insurance on the vehicle, right? So it gives you some protection for tomorrow. But another thing too is that it helps you to be able to feel relaxed. You know, most people are working today, and most people are actually older than their age, you know, than their age that everybody knows in the office. Why? Because they can't afford to live. And most people actually not living their life. They're in organizations, they don't want to be there. Why? Because they can't afford to live. And it's because they don't have enough that they feel that if I have to be kicked off right now, if I decide that I'm not going to be there again, how is my life going to be like? Right? So saving basically gives you confidence, it helps you to feel relaxed, but it also protects your tomorrow.
It also protects your tomorrow. Nice one. So you've heard, it makes you confident, it protects your tomorrow. But everything you said, I want you to sum it up for us and tell us why we need to save. It is very important. My youth were watching as well.
Okay. Well, I think that you need to save primarily because today you have, tomorrow is not assured. And we've had people who rose up in the morning, went to the office, and then they got to the office, noticed that there are no more employees again, right? And if you are somebody who saves, somebody who are able to put money at some investment, it helps you to give you some some leverage point. You know, people kill themselves because they don't have some value that they think they can keep. I think that everybody must have their personal balance sheet. Know your personal worth. If you are receiving, everybody who is receiving income must have a balance sheet, must have a personal wealth. And that wealth is how much you are able to keep out of the physical cash, right? I've always said that wealth is not cash. Wealth is everything aside of the physical cash that you can give value to, all right? So put some of that money into wealth, and then that one will give you who you are worth. Yes.
Wow. Put that kind of money or some into your worth. It is very important to save. I was supposed to bring a piggy bank here, but I'll bring it anyways, and then I'll start saving on the show so that all of us will do it as well. If you've just watched us, you can go to town, get a piggy bank. It is not expensive. I think it's like 5 cedis. You get one, you start putting money inside. Every day you put 1 cedi. Cultivate that habit. Okay, so Susu box. A piggy bank is just Susu box. So get that Susu box, put 1 cedi in it every single day, and by the end of the year we'll do a challenge on the show. We'll take out our money, you also take out your money. We'll see how much you are able to earn at the end of the show. And don't be scared to invest. Don't be scared to be a shareholder. Don't be scared to, you know, merge with other people. After all, he's just told us the world's richest man, he had just 16%. Yes, that's the owner or the founder of Amazon. I'm sure a lot of you were thinking it's Bill Gates. Well, no more. On Monday, Bill Gates was overthrown. It's no more. So just this Monday, Amazon founder Jeff crossed another milestone by Monday. Yes, and it was 150 billion. Yeah, so he's 150 billion rich. So he is the richest man now. It's no more Bill Gates. I hope you enjoyed this one. How to save, the act of saving. I told you, maybe on Friday I'll bring my piggy bank, I'll bring my Susu box here. But don't go anywhere. We're talking about data privacy with King and Spiky. Don't go anywhere.